Alright, going in a spot that I scouted and hunted a little bit early season. There was always a few deer in here. Don't know if there still are. There's been a lot of hunting pressure on this road. There's not really a good parking spot here. I just walked at least 200 yards down the road, maybe farther, so I could just slip off into this patch of woods. It maybe has been hunted. Probably not as much as the cornfields down where I parked. So we're just gonna find out. There's a fairly fresh track here going parallel to the road. So it drops off into a bottom. There's a hollow down there and another hollow we just passed. But there's a huge flock of turkeys down there. Last time I was in here, I jumped deer out of this hollow. We're gonna try to get to the edge where I can kind of see down. But I don't know if they're bedded in there. There's deer sign in here. I'm assuming the turkeys have eaten all the acorns, but lots of green in the bottom. And I think this is a less pressured spot, surrounded by hunting pressure. So, we'll see. I'm gonna have to get down the hill pretty far to really get a clear shot, but we're gonna pick a tree in here somewhere. Briars. Alright. Looks like a decent spot to sit. coyote or something just tried to grab one of those turkeys. They flushed like quail. Okay, we're slipping up into this thicket by the road. I've never set foot right in here, but I've hunted across the road for years. And sometimes right after dark when I get back to the truck and I'm driving down the road, they're crossing right here, headed towards where I was hunting. So I've always wanted to try to slip up in here. I'll be honest, it's probably a better morning spot catching them come back to bed, but I'm not going to go very far in. I'm going to find a place to sit and hopefully not bump them off bed. There's some cedar thicket on down in the woods a little ways. And then right here it's fairly open, kind of thick, but looks perfect. So if I don't jump anything off bed, we're going to sit down here and try to catch them slipping. We got a doe in here on her feed. Okay, no sign of the doe for like 10 minutes. Move just a little bit. I had a car drive by a minute ago and they slowed down. They passed me and then slowed down and stopped and then drove off slowly. I don't know what they're being nosy about, but hopefully they don't cause any issue. These deer, or at least this one doe, is right off the road, and there's probably more. Sit by this big cedar tree. And I lost that doe and all this thick stuff right in front of me. I'm just hoping she pops back out later. I'm not gonna try to sneak through that. We'll bump her. Okay, we're gonna sit here till dark. The sun's going down already. Eep, eep. Well, there's one. And then there was another one coming through. The first one you probably couldn't see, but first time I got my gun up, there was a doe that skirted me across the property line too far. And I heard more coming. First one trotted past me. And then this one gave me a shot. I think the one that skirted me was the big doe. This one's little. It's not as small as I thought. It's a young doe. Shot her head on. I hope I hit her high enough to miss the guts. We'll find out when we get her skinned out. But we got one. I had a feeling I'd see some deer in here. Saw one right off the rip. And it went away, but I knew they like to cross the road right at dark or right after dark. So across the road, it's ag fields, a lot of hunting pressure. But I've hunted those fields, and on my way out, coming back to the truck, driving down the road, I've seen the does crossing here. So it's a good little spot. And she died 10 yards from my tree. It's probably about a 20-yard shot. Alright, let's get her checked in and get her gutted. Alright, she's gutted and checked in. Got a long drag. Long drag right back to the road. Maybe I'll just drive down here and pick her up. Alright, y'all, that'll be it for this evening. Only hunted like an hour and a half. But we'll be back after him here soon. I'll catch y'all later.